Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with yet another live stream coming to you from a different location today, 7:30 p.m. in mainland Spain, but where I am here today around 6:30 p.m. So an hour earlier here where I am, but as I said, 7:30 mainland time in Spain. Now we're going to go through some of the main stories that have caught my attention today. We're also going to have a look at some comments that have been left on the videos or on videos in recent times. And then in the second half of this live stream, around the 15-20 minute mark, we'll go into the chat section and check out what is happening there. So make sure that there is plenty of activity, please, in the chat section. Questions, comments, whatever you want to say, leave it in that chat section. Now I'm just going to put the like icon on the screen here. If you haven't hit the like icon yet, please do so. Just below the video you will find it. Whether you are on Facebook or YouTube, you will find the like icon. Now we'll get straight into the news, and I think the fires in the autonomous community of Asturias have been put out, or at least they're under control, but they have caused a lot of damage. And as we can see here, officials are saying that arson is behind those wildfires in northern Spain. Officials in the northern Spanish region of Asturias say that unspecified arsonists were behind most of the 100 or so wildfires raging in the heavily wooded and mountainous area. Unusually high spring temperatures and gusting winds have helped spread the fires over the past 2 days, with some 400 people needing to be evacuated from villages and small towns and several roads cut off for safety. Asturias Regional President Adrian Barbon said the full weight of the law would be applied to what he described as fire terrorists. He said the fires were started in an organised way by criminals taking advantage of the adverse weather conditions. He didn't explain what the alleged arsonists' motives might be. No arrests have been made. Now, this is the second serious group of fires. The first serious group of fires, of course, last week down in the Castellón province, now going to the north of Spain, these fires, and as we saw there, deliberately lit these ones. I think the ones in Castellón were started by people working in the area, maybe some with a heavy machinery, started a fire, got out of control very, very quickly. Very, very dry conditions around Spain currently. Hasn't rained a lot. Last summer was very hot, very dry, and of course the seasonal rains have not arrived yet. Hence there is serious problems in some areas with very, very dry forests, and arsonists unfortunately taking advantage of those conditions and starting fires. For what reason? Nobody knows, but as we saw there, the president of Asturias describing them as fire terrorists. So a new threat this year, starting early, that of fire terrorism. And again, why people get their kicks from this type of thing, I've got absolutely no idea. But if you've got an opinion on the subject, please, the chat section is the place for you. Now, the second piece of news that we have today, this one here, and it's about inflation and good news, and the fact that inflation falls more than expected to 3.3% in March. Spain's consumer price inflation slowed to 3.3% in March, its weakest annual rate since August 2021, and down from 6% in February. Preliminary data from the National Statistics Institute showed on Thursday. Analysts polled by Reuters had expected a rate of 3.8%. This drop is mainly due to the fact that electricity and fuel prices increased in March 2022 and decreased this month, the Statistics Agency said. Core inflation, which strips out volatile fresh food and energy prices, was 7.5% year-on-year, slightly below the 7.6% recorded in February, the data showed. Food prices have hit Spaniards' wallets hard, climbing more than 16% in February from a year earlier. So some good news that inflation moderating there, down to 3.3%, the change from February last year, and basically related to energy prices not rising as much as they did in March 2022. March 2023 more stable when it comes to energy prices, but food prices still quite steep and really hitting people hard, as we saw there, especially when it comes to doing grocery shopping. But anyway, let's see if we can get inflation, or the powers that be can get inflation down even more as the year rolls on. And the next piece of news, this one here, Spain is the EU country with the most uninhabited territory. Spain ranks first among EU countries in terms of square kilometres without a human population, ahead of Sweden, although Madrid and Barcelona are the most populated provinces in the whole of Europe. This is according to Eurostat data released on Thursday of the EU population and housing census in 2021. Of the 4.4 million squares of 1 square kilometre that cover the EU territory, 1.8 million were populated, while 2.6 million were uninhabited. Spain leads the ranking of countries with the most uninhabited square kilometre cells, 426,000, followed by Sweden, 362. So anybody who lives in Spain will know that there is a lot of the country that doesn't have any population at all, and people concentrated in cities, which seems to be the trend around the European Union apparently. Now, let's go into the comment section from recent videos, but before I do that, I'll just put the little like icon on the screen. Maybe you will be like number 45, maybe number 46, maybe even like number 50. So hit that like button below, please, and let's see if we can get the tally up to a decent one today. Now, the first comment that has been left, this one here from Shane. Sure, both Gran Canaria and Tenerife are wonderful. You'll need to decide which you prefer yourself. I'd suggest you've just found a perfect excuse to book your next holiday. Yes, Shane, I plan to book another 5 or 6 holidays to the Canary Islands to check out all of the different islands down there, whether it be Gran Canaria, as you suggest there, whether it be Lanzarote, whether it be Fuerteventura, maybe El Hierro, maybe La Gomera, maybe La Palma. I'll check them all out for their quality of life and the different characteristics that they have. As I mentioned the other day, one of my students is from Gran Canaria, and he told me that each of the islands is unique and has differences compared to all the rest. So I'm looking forward to checking that out in the future with more trips to the Canaries, should I be able to afford them. That is, because my last trip to Tenerife was not cheap. Unfortunately, when you put everything together, the airfares, the car hire, the accommodation, food, all of those things together, it does turn out to be quite an expensive 3-day holiday. But as we know, nothing is cheap nowadays. Now, another comment here. Let's have a look at this one here from LCK. I am Dutch and living near Las Galletas, Tenerife for 31 years. I spoke Spanish before spending a holiday in Spain. In my eyes, it's simple education to learn the language. I know the YouTuber who refuses to learn. Can't speak not even 5 words after 9 years on the island. His girlfriend even gets angry with the waiter if the waiter doesn't understand her Liverpool accent. Who does? It's a general problem with the Brits. I hate having to explain after so many years to a doctor, for instance, that I do speak Spanish. You call it a shame, but I call it an insult to the country. Sorry for the rant. I'll invite you and your family for a coffee next time you are visiting Tenerife. Cuídate. Yeah, thanks a lot, LCK. I will take you up on that offer of a coffee next time I'm down in the Canary Islands. I visited the area that you mentioned there, Las Galletas. I think it's the most southern town in Tenerife, I think. Maybe one of the most southern towns in that on that island, I should say. And also referring there to a YouTuber that refuses to learn Spanish. And somebody also said the other day that this YouTuber is proud of the fact that he doesn't speak the language. And his girlfriend there apparently getting angry with waiters if they don't speak or they can't understand the Liverpool accent. And I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it probably 100 times on this channel. If you're going to come and live in this country, it's a good idea to try to at least learn some of the language. You don't have to become fluent in the language. You don't have to become an expert in the Spanish language. But for courtesy, which is pointed out here by LCK, it's an insult if you don't make an effort after so many years living on the island. In the case of that YouTuber, 9 years living on the island and only 5 words of Spanish according to that person there. Don't know the person in question, the YouTuber in question, but I have heard that for whatever reason, he is proud of the fact that he doesn't speak the local lingo. But, as we know, in parts of Tenerife, especially the south, you can get away with it, even though, in my opinion, and the opinion of LCK, you shouldn't. But anyway. Another comment here from Mogsy. It's difficult sometimes to speak in Spanish, even if you want to. I live in a mixed society village of approximately 4K people. We are about 5 miles inland, and the mix is predominantly Spanish, followed by English, Dutch, German, Romanian, French, Belgian, etc. It's very mixed. I do try to speak Spanish when given the opportunity. I have learned mostly from Duolingo and using an app or dictionary. It is possible. Absolutely, Mogsy. It is possible. Even though it is difficult, I understand that. And somebody else pointed out the other day that sometimes you start speaking Spanish, but the other person replies directly in English because they're not really interested in listening to your bad Spanish. And that happens here in Portugal. When I try to speak the local lingo, sometimes people reply directly in English because they don't want to have to put up, maybe they don't have time to try and put up with somebody who's learning the language. And it does come across as, I don't know whether it's a little bit insulting. Obviously, for the learner, it can be. But I understand that people do that also to try to get the conversation exchange over with as quickly as possible, and sometimes to put the other person out of their misery if they are struggling with the language. But it is not easy to learn a language. That is definitely, or a second language, I should say. Everybody learns their first language without any problems, but second languages, third languages, fourth languages can be difficult, but you just have to keep at it. Don't give up, and the biggest problem that people have is that they give up after a short time and they don't continue, and you go back to square one, basically. You never get past a certain level. I think that is the problem. Another comment here from Nigel. Well, that's a nice place and maybe a paradise of sorts. However, Asturias is a paradise worth anyone's visit, says Nigel. Yeah, absolutely, Nigel. Asturias is a lovely part of the country in the north, but unfortunately, comparing it to the Canary Islands or Tenerife, which is what Nigel is doing here, weather-wise, you can't compare. Maybe 2 months of the year in Asturias you get decent weather, maybe 3. If you like cold and wet weather, it's a fantastic place for 9 months of the year. But the Canary Islands, as we know, that's subtropical weather, balmy nights, warm days most of the year. Maybe it rains a little bit every now and again. The north of Tenerife can be quite humid, but the south a little bit drier. But you just can't compare the weather anywhere else in Spain with the weather in the Canaries, I don't think. But that's just my opinion. Even in mainland Spain, the places that do get good weather, in the Mediterranean parts of the country, you can get cold nights. And there's always going to be at least a month of the year, maybe 3 weeks of the year where the weather is cold. But as I said, not in the Canaries, I don't think. That's the difference. But Nigel is right. Asturias is indeed a paradise. Another comment here from Riched71. I was lucky enough to spend a couple of years living on Lanzarote. Amazing place to live. The lifestyle was great, with walking and swimming available for almost year-round. There are people that hate the barren landscapes on most of the islands. LOL, self-government when they want. Yes, the Canarian language is a different version of Spanish. Getting fresh produce can be an issue sometimes, like fresh milk that is often off when bought from a supermarket, probably due to leaving it out in transit from the mainland. So there we go. Rich was lucky enough to live a couple of years on Lanzarote, which is one of the most popular islands in the Canaries. And according to that person there, the lifestyle fantastic. And I think that's the difference, that you can get that 12 month of the year good weather. If you like outdoor activities, if you like water sports, the Canaries is the place. Whereas the rest of the country, you are limited by seasons, even though, as I said before, in some parts of the country, Malaga, for example, you can get a long summer or decent weather for 6 months of the year, maybe even longer. But I think the Canaries is, in my opinion, and as we saw there, that person's opinion, probably the best. But some problems, of course, when it comes to fresh produce, because a lot of stuff is imported into the islands, and milk, fresh milk, for example, may be going off before it gets there. And that's probably why the majority of people I would say 98% of the Spanish population that drinks milk drinks long life milk, UHT milk, which is the dominant type of milk at supermarkets in Spain. Fresh milk is in the minority, I think. Another comment here from Georges. The beaches look worse than Blackpool. How can you call this a paradise, man? Let's be honest, the coast doesn't look good at all. What about Portugal? Is that a better option? Yeah, well, again, it comes down to the weather. Not everybody's interested in the beach. Outdoor activities, of course, you can practice all year round. Here in Portugal, you are limited to the weather and also the storms that come across Portugal. Yesterday, when we arrived, it was raining. Today's a fantastic day. The sun is shining. But again, for 6 or 7 months of the year, the weather can be a little bit unpredictable, even in this part of Portugal here, which is about 100 kilometres north of Lisbon. Maybe if you go to the south of Portugal, the Algarve, you can get decent weather, like in Andalusia in Spain. And Portugal also has islands. Madeira is an island where I imagine the weather is similar to the Canaries, or maybe a little bit more humid because it seems greener than the Canaries, I think, Madeira. And also the Azores are another group of islands that are under Portuguese control. So you can find islands down there with better weather conditions, but mainland Portugal, probably, again, as I said, you're not going to get that summer-like conditions or subtropical weather for 12 months of the year, which you would get in the Canaries. So that's the difference. And comparing it to Blackpool, you got to be joking, right? Another comment here from Maura. Hi, Stuart. Our Marade is pronounced Marade. Greetings from Ireland. Yeah, I apologise to anybody with an Irish name. I have trouble sometimes with the Irish names. This is one of the names that I have had problems with. Probably 10 names I have had problems with over the last few months when they pop up in the comment section. I don't have time to check the pronunciation just because I'm not familiar with the pronunciation of those words, given the fact that I've never lived in Ireland and I've never come into contact with those names before. So I don't know whether it's I don't know whether they have English translations, but as we saw, this name here was not familiar to me the other day. Marade, according to Maura, the pronunciation of the word there. So thanks for pointing it out, and if I ever do mispronounce your name, it's because I've never seen it before and I'm not sure of the pronunciation, so I apologise in advance. Now we're up to 186 people watching at the moment, 95 likes. I'm going to put the little like icon on the screen, so if you haven't hit it yet, please do so. Just below the video, you will find the like button to hit, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. And the other thing that I'm going to mention is that no green screen behind me today, so I can't put up viewer pics, but it's only for a couple of live streams. I'll be back in my normal surroundings midweek, so stay tuned for that. But currently, no green screen, no viewer pics, but send them through anyway. I don't have the email address to pop up, so this is a different program as well that I'm using on a different computer, so I haven't got that icon. But spainspeaks@gmail.com. If you've got a nice pic of Spain, a nice pic of Portugal, send it through and it will go up on the backdrop when I get back, as I said, to my regular surroundings with that green screen. Now, time to go into the chat section. The news and comments are finished. Let's see what's going on here today. Scrolling up to the top. Always takes me a while to get there. Let's have a look. One here from Andrew, the first one up today. I'll pop this one on the screen. Good evening, Stuart. I'm from a cold but sunny southeast London. Hope you are all well. Yeah, I'm well today. Thank you very much, Andrew. I've had a nice Sunday. Hope you have too, and I hope everybody's had a nice Sunday today. And good to see that it's sunny in southeast London. It's been a little bit wet there, wet and windy, I think, in a lot of parts of the UK recently. So the sun is out, hopefully to stay. Now, another comment. Let's have a look. Another chat. Let's see what's going on. Barbara's coming in from the Playa Flamenca. Hello, Barbara. Hope all is well. Erica coming in from Peñafiel instead of Terrassa today. Peñafiel, of course, is in the province of Valladolid, Spain's one of Spain's wine-growing areas, and eating lechazo and the castle and excellent wine. And Erica sent me through a few pictures, which I will show on the backdrop of that lechazo, which I think is a lamb dish, or it looked like lamb. Thank you very much, Erica, for that. Last time she was there was in 1986, and nice to see that it still is very much along the lines of what Erica remembered. So not a lot of change going on there. Very traditional part of the country, and a very traditional wine growing area, Peñafiel in Valladolid. Thank you very much, Erica, for that. Daryl, City fan, coming in as well. Daryl also sent me an email today talking about his new YouTube channel, putting out videos with dogs in it, and dogs and Shakira, I think Daryl is focusing on. Getting plenty of views with those videos, apparently. Good to see you, Daryl. Nico's in the chat section as well, also coming in from Catalonia, Delta del Ebro. Hello, Nico. Hope all is well where you are today. What else we got going on? Alan also coming in from a sunny but coolish southeast London, just like we saw before with Andrew. William also coming in was like number 5. Janet's coming in from Oxford. Gino and Isabella coming in from Canada. Hoping everyone is well. Yes, we are well today. I think everyone is well. Speaking for myself, of course, Gino. Hope you guys are well there too. US correspondent Dave is coming in. Feliz Domingo, back in Florida, I think, Dave, today. Enjoying his United States trip. Heidi coming in from Madrid. The Mallorquines have had their cake and eaten it for too long. The homes that would have been passed down from the families were sold for top dollar, so now they can't afford to buy. Talking about the problem of, I think it was, we saw it the other day about in Mallorca, the foreign resident ban not getting the okay from the European Union, or at least some members of the European Union saying that it would have to be extraordinary circumstances for that ban to be legal, banning property. And Heidi pointing out here that people there have had it good for too long, selling up to foreigners, and now complaining that they can't afford to buy. Heidi putting her point of view forward there. Showman Bailey coming in from Swansea in South Wales. Bronny from Bronny in a cold and cloudy Swansea. Hope all is well there. 28 degrees Dave's got back to us there in just close to Tampa. 28 degrees, yeah. I wish we had 28 here, Dave. It's only about 18 degrees, but the sun is shining, and when you're out of the wind, it's a nice day. What else got going in here? Richard coming in from North Yorks. Contrast yesterday when it rained all day. So again, sunny there today as well. So sun finally hitting the United Kingdom. Good to see. Stan coming in. Hello, Stan. Renan coming in as well from LA. Michael coming in from Torrox. Feliz Domingo de Ramos. The Easter celebrations no doubt begun down there. I think Malaga in general, big in processions, very religious or Easter processions, very important down there, no doubt. If you enjoy that type of thing. Alan coming in from San Diego, returning to El Puerto de Santa Maria in May. Can't wait, says Alan. Hope all goes well with your trip back, Alan. Angela and John coming in from Menorca, the regular Menorca viewers. Hi guys, hope all is well again there. What else we got going on here quickly in the chat section? Matthew coming in as well. What do we got going on here? Let's have a look. Just wondered why they did take the, what's that, peerages in Spain. I thought they made a lot of money for the economy. Not sure what that comment's talking about there. Let us know exactly. Daryl has taken a temporary break from filming dogs, apparently. Uploading them without the consent. Always looking for a Shakira challenge. There we go. Thanks, Daryl, for that. ZE coming in from Vancouver, Canada, British Columbia, I should say. Snowing there at the moment, according to Zach. Hope you are, apart from the snow, enjoying your time there, Zach, in British Columbia. Remy with an I coming in from the Netherlands, 20 degrees Celsius there. Moret coming in also, was in Ronda, very, very hot, from Moret and Lars. Gleesme also coming in. Number of recent fires in California have been started by eco-terrorists. intent of advancing the alarmist narrative around climate change. There we go. The alarmist narrative around climate change. Maybe that's what's happening here as well. Do not know. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look. Elaine also coming in today from New Jersey. Erica adding to the fire debate. It seems that the fires in Asturias were started to have pasture for on the long run. This is what a student of mine from Oviedo told me, but also read it elsewhere. Yeah, could be. Not sure. Not sure what's going on there. Hopefully they're under control. What else we got going on here? Gigi coming in from sunny California. Hope all is well there. Let's have a look. Heidi coming in. Those arsonists should be hauled over their own coals. I hope they're caught and punished. Grant coming in from Seattle also sent me an email the other day showing a picture from his balcony with the smoke in the background. Thanks for that, Grant. As I said, I can't put it on the green screen today because I don't have a green screen, but I'll get used to it. Diffie Dog saying, why am I streaming from a university dorm? Well, I'm not, but I'm just in this little corner of the room here. It's quite a spacious room, actually, but I'm just in one corner of it where I have my computer set up, and this is the general backdrop that I normally have when I'm sitting here, Diffie. I don't have any lights either. I'm just using my phone here for the image, and this microphone here for the sound. So a bit of a change today, but hopefully you can see and hear me well. As I said, it'll be like this for the next couple of live streams. Christine also coming in from Madrid. Beautiful day on one of the many terraces or outdoor seating areas, although the allergies will make her pay for it later. Hope everyone's having a good Semana Santa. Yeah, we're coming into allergy season, hay fever season. For me, it's already started, so got to be careful if you are a sufferer of allergies in Spain at this time of the year. They're only going to get worse over the next month when all of those flowers start to bloom. Ricardo coming in from North London. Sun came out today, finally topping up the tan, he says. Simon Lanzarote warming up fast. Booked the ferry to leave here at the end of April, heading back to Ireland. Takes a week. Mostly on ferries. Yeah, that's the problem, getting back, especially if you've got a vehicle. It takes a week to get back to Ireland from Lanzarote. But heading back, and no doubt heading back to the Canaries in the future, I suppose, Simon. Let us know if that is the case. What else we've got going on here? Let's have a look. Michael also coming in. Palm Sunday. Wonderful celebrations across the country. That was at Domingo de Ramos, as he mentioned before. Let's have a look. Joe saying that I've recorded from here before. Why is Portugal such a secret? It's not really a secret, I don't think, anymore. It's the world's worst secret by the amount of tourists in this country now. Everywhere you go, you can hear English spoken. A lot of Americans living in Portugal now, Joe. It's become the flavour of the month for a lot of people from the States. What else got going on? Stuart's coming in here from Valle San Lorenzo, just back from the beach, says Stuart. Hope you had a good day on the beach, Stuart. Hope all went well. Pauline also coming in. Sound like I have a cold. I think I had one the last time I was in Portugal. Yeah, I think it's the trip over here, to tell you the truth. Pauline, when you sit in a car for 6 hours, you get a little bit congested, and then the change in the temperature, of course, and the change in the weather conditions. A very dry Madrid, and you come here, it's quite humid. I think that's one of the reasons. But I don't have a cold, although I do have allergies, and I'm taking a pill for my allergies. So hopefully they'll clear up over the next couple of days. What else we got going on here? Welsh Toto is in the chat section as well. Hope I am well. Back to his place in Andalusia next week. Hope all goes well with that you're heading down to Andalusia. What else we got going? Pamela coming in from San Juan de los Terreros, regular viewer. Kevin lived in Spain for 12 years, only to speak a little Spanish, but I always managed to get through and have a great time in his local down there. Yeah, limited Spanish, I suppose, is better than none. I think the thing that popped up was that person refusing. I think that was the idea that I got, that this person refuses to learn Spanish. And as we said, if somebody doesn't understand the Liverpool accent, if a waiter doesn't understand the Liverpool accent, they get a little bit annoyed. But let's be honest, not always easy to understand a Liverpool accent, especially if you're not familiar with it. What else we got going on? Daryl saying here, so sadly, I hardly ever see him, as most of my friends only speak Spanish or have enough Spanish for those in my group. Not sure what that's related to, but I must have missed that conversation thread. Thanks for that, Daryl, anyway. What else we got going on here? The Spanish really appreciate it, says Ronnie, if you try and speak their language, even if it doesn't sound right. I have lived here for 2 years and still learning. Yeah, continuous learning, I think, Ronnie, is the key. Just always continue to get better. Try to learn new words, pick them up, and try to put, string sentences together, and people will appreciate it, of course. As I said, you don't need to become fully fluent. You don't need to write a doctorate in Spanish, of course, but basic day-to-day will go a long way. And as we have mentioned, locals will appreciate it. Stephen also coming in, 77th like was Stephen, enjoying a glass of wine with his wife. Hope you enjoy that, Stephen. I know you are a fan of Rioja. Hope you enjoy it. What else we got going on here quickly? Now, I'm not going to have a long stream today because actually, the makeshift conditions that I've got here, actually quite uncomfortable sitting in this chair. My back is starting to ache. My shoulders are starting to ache, so I don't think I'm going to be here long, but maybe 35, 36 minutes. Grant's also been to Gran Canaria, living in Asturias for 25 years, to visit friends in Gran Canaria and Tenerife. If I could move to the Canary Islands tomorrow. I'm sure that is the case, Grant, that when you're living in a place like Asturias where you do get those long, wet winters, the Canaries are truly, truly paradise, I imagine. What else got going on here quickly? Manuel from Valencia coming in the town of Montserrat, where the streets are loud and festive, with the Fallas going strong. Still going strong in the Fallas. They seem to go on for a long time down there, Manuel. What's the exact length of the Fallas? Let us know. Let us know. What else we got going on quickly? Let's have a look. I think we've got a super chat I saw before. I'll just see if I can find it here from Alan, £10. Thank you very much, Alan. Perhaps enjoy a port stew. Yes, why not? A nice glass of port. Tawny or ruby? Which do you prefer? Tawny or ruby? I'm not an expert on port, but I do drink the odd bottle of Portuguese red and Portuguese white when I'm here. I haven't had any yet, but maybe tonight I'll crack open a bottle. I might go to the supermarket when I finish this live stream. So it's at time 7:03, 7:03, so maybe I've got time to nip down to the supermarket and get a nice bottle if I can. So thank you very much, Alan, for your generosity and supporting the channel there. What else we've got going on here quickly? The weather is a bit undone. Sounds a bit low. Yeah, the microphone setup is not the same here, I don't think, Jose Antonio. I don't have the same quality microphone. This is a little USB microphone. The other is an XLR microphone, I think, and the sound quality is a lot better, but you have to bear with me, as I said, for the next couple of live streams until I can get back to my regular location. Larry coming in from La Palma in Canarias. Hope Larry, hope all is well. CH coming in from a sunny London. Who else we got going in there? We've got, again, I wouldn't be able to pronounce this name, unfortunately. But hello from Pedreguer, Alicante. Again, my apologies for not knowing how to pronounce your name there. But thanks for the chat. Thanks for the comment or chat. Happy Sleepy. Let's have a look here. Hi, it's been a long time since I tuned in. My algorithm is quite out of whack for a while now. Glad I caught you live. Thank you very much, Happy Sleepy, for joining the live stream. Stream looking good and sounding great, Stu. Thank you very much, Alan, for that. Glad that it is looking good and the sound is good. Sound's the most important thing. Image quality second, always the sound. If the sound's clear, we've got a good live stream. And if you can get both, fantastic. But hopefully that has been achieved. What else got going on here? David coming in, El Davido. Just putting my name there, probably asking me a question somewhere down the line. Eric, I hope I enjoy my time in Portugal. Hopefully, Erica, we'll get a couple of nice days here, hopefully, and do what we normally do, which is basically walk along the beach and just try to disconnect from the stressful Madrid life. And you realise how stressful it is when you've been out of it for a while, and the traffic jam on the way out was terrible. Stuck in a traffic jam for 20 minutes, not moving. And hopefully we'll choose the run back to Madrid well and not have to sit in another traffic jam on the way back, because Madrid is probably the worst part of the country for traffic jams. Maybe Barcelona, Madrid, absolutely shocking. And but here, in a completely another world. What draws me to Portugal, asking David here? The beaches, basically. Dave, I like the open beaches. I like to feel the wind in my hair, what little hair I have left. I like to feel the wind through it. I like the Portuguese cuisine is also good. I like to get away from Spain. That's basically what I like. So as soon as you cross the border, you're in another country, but it's similar enough that you can sort of still enjoy things that you like from Spain and also here in Portugal. When it comes to food, I mean, there's not a great difference between Portuguese food and Spanish food, of course. The language is different. You switch off immediately because you can't understand what people are saying. So that's one of the reasons why I like it, but mainly the beaches, those open coast beaches, and the waves. My son likes to go surfing. Every now and again, when I feel like it, I put the board under my arm and paddle out the back and catch a few waves. What else we got going on here quickly? Adeline has lived in Fuerteventura for 29 years. I'm used to the weather and often feel cold at 20 in winter. My family in Ireland laugh at me. There we go. You know you've been there too long when you start to feel cold when it's 20 degrees Celsius in the middle of winter. Thanks for the comment. Let's have a look. Let's have a look here quickly. Stephen asking a question. Don't know if I know the answer to it. Hi, Stu. Hope you're well and having a good weekend. Do you know if it's normal for Spanish companies to sometimes deduct money from your nomina for example, 1 day off sick? Thanks from Barcelona. Shouldn't happen, Stephen. It should not happen. You are entitled to have days off for being sick as long as you have a medical certificate. I think that you've been to the doctor, but I think you are entitled to a certain amount of days off. I know that one lady that works for me, she had a day off recently. I didn't deduct any money from her monthly salary, but it all depends on how long the person is off for, because of course you have to get an official baja, and but I don't think they should be deducting money. But again, if anybody knows better, please let us know in the chat section. Let's have a look here. David coming in from Oak Ridges in Ontario, Canada. 3 degrees Celsius, a bit chilly there. Philip coming in also from a chilly London. Trevor coming in from La Cala. Beautiful cloudless sky down there today. Let's see quickly if I can get through the chat. Belinda saying, alarmist narrative, give me a break, realistic narrative worldwide. There we go, opposite point of view than the one that we saw before about fires. Thanks for that, Belinda. What else we got going on here? Mugger coming in from Dublin. Johnny asking if I'm in Portugal now. That is true. Blind spots coming in from Madrid, Cuzco. Spent the weekend recovering from getting caught up in the chaos at Chamartin. Train back from Valencia to Monday to Madrid on Friday evening, delayed by 7.5 hours. Problem with Renfe at the moment, blind spots. So good to see that you made it back to Madrid finally after Valencia. I spoke to someone also that went to Valencia for the Fallas. I think coming back on the Monday, which was a public holiday in Madrid, the 3-hour trip took 6.5 hours by car. So transport problems. Super chat also from Michael, 11 euros from Michael. Thank you very much, Michael. I'll put that towards another bottle of wine. I've got I've got enough now for I think I could probably put a cellar together with user contributions. So thank you very much for that. Greatly appreciated. What else we got going on here? Do you not add to the problem of global warming, etc., by eco-warriors starting fires? Do they not understand the irony? Yeah, a lot of information going on at the moment. Difficult to know what's going on. I'm not sure whether those fires started in Spain were eco-warriors or just people trying to clear the land or whatever was going on. But yeah, it's a lot of confusing information at the moment. But all I know is that the land around Spain, the forests around Spain, very, very dry at the moment. And of course, whereas they would normally be quite damp, I think, if we had normal rains. But of course, last year, very, very hot. This year also very, very dry. So very, well, good conditions for a fire, but not if people start a fire, of course. We don't want people starting fires because they burn very, very quickly given the strong winds and dry ground conditions. I think that's the big problem. Whereas normally this time of the year that would happen, or normally that would happen later in the year. But of course now it's happening at the end of middle of March, beginning of April, as we can see. Simon coming in from Lepe. Manuel's also said that last day of the Fallas, so it must be like a month-long festival down there, the Fallas. Leonardo coming in, always great content. Thank you very much for that, Leonardo. I'm going to wrap the content up in a minute. We're at 41 minutes. I've gone a little bit over today. Old guy Grant asking the question, are supermarkets open on Sunday in Portugal? Yeah, the big ones are. So if you go to the Pingo Dos, I think it's open. The Continente supermarket is open. Lidl, Aldi, open on Sundays, at least here. Can't talk about the rest of Portugal, but where I am, definitely open. And open until, I think, 9 p.m. this evening. Aldi or Lidl, I think, would be open until that time, and I think most of them are. But as I said, that's only where I am here. Can't talk about the rest of the country. What else we got going on here? Let's have a look here quickly. All good with the sound, apparently. Perfect day in Amarinha, 25 degrees on the terrace. Remy with a Y. Don't get any problems with the locals. And if you try to speak Spanish, absolutely, Remy. That's always been my way of looking at it. What else we got going on here? Daniel coming in from Seattle. Let's have a look here. What else we got going on here quickly? I'm just trying to get through the end of the chat section. Always takes a while. Dave pointing out that most trains to Valencia leave from Atocha station, not Chamartin, as we saw before. Maybe you have to catch another train to Chamartin, Cercanías, Dave, if you want to get there. But Dave's right. I think the AVE at least leaves from Atocha to go to Valencia, and most trains heading south and east of Madrid are from Atocha. Trains heading north, I think, from Chamartin, obviously. But that's it. I've come to the end of the chat. Apologies for anybody that I have missed. One more question here from Daniel. Are there any good vegetarian options in Spain? In big cities, yes. In small cities, perhaps not. Daniel, because meat is the predominant ingredient of a lot of dishes in Spain. Although in big cities, more and more places are popping up that offer vegetarian options. If you search, vegetarian restaurants in Madrid or Barcelona, I'm sure plenty will come up. So more and more creeping up, but meat's still very prominent in the Spanish diet. Now, as I said, I'm going to wrap the live stream up. I'll be back again perhaps on Tuesday. In fact, definitely I'll be back on Tuesday, so I don't know why I said perhaps. Thank you very much for watching the live stream. Thank you very much for participating in the chat. Thanks for the couple of super chats that I got. Greatly appreciated as always. As I said, I'll be back on Tuesday again with another live stream. Maybe I'll do a video tomorrow if I can find some content for it. Not sure. I'll have to go through and see if anything interesting is in the news. Well, there is something. Yeah, there's a new political party that was launched today with Ms. Yolanda Díaz leading that party. So maybe I'll talk about that and a few other things, but can't guarantee it. So thanks for watching. Thanks for participating in the chat. Thanks for supporting the channel. I'll see you guys on Tuesday for another live stream. Maybe tomorrow with a regular video. Hasta luego. Hasta entonces. Hasta luego.